Yo, what's going on, guys? This is BunnyMuffins. I have the meta snapshot for 10.20b. There was a B patch, and Spirit got nerfed at 4 Spirit from 80% of total mana attack speed to 70%. And then Aphelios also got nerfed. His starting mana went from 120 to 90, so that's 3 autos more that he needs to do to get up to his first turret. Janna, max mana increased by 10, and Ashe Brawler's focus bonus damage, or bonus attack speed, got reduced a tiny bit at 1 and 2 star Ashe. Lastly, Veigar got nerfed at pretty much all stages by a tiny bit of damage. And this hurt the Spirit comps the most. I see a lot less people playing Aphelios and Zed. Aphelios is pretty much almost non-existent now. You really only play it if you get him really for free. But we're going to do a little something different for this meta snapshot. So you guys can always access this meta snapshot at bunnymuffins.lol and see all the comps. But today we're going to go into all the free comps, which what I call would be the easy comps. And pretty much anyone can play these and do really well with them if you get the right starts for them. So that's not Ahri Mystic. If you guys want to do a quick search for it, you could go to the website and do a search for low difficulty. But it's not Ahri. This comp requires some thinking. Dusk is actually pretty difficult because there are so many different substitutions you could put in. Veigar carry, this might be on the verge of medium to low, but I put it as medium for now, so we're not going to go over that. Same with Ashe. Enlightened's pretty difficult because, again, there are a lot of substitutions you can make. And then first comp that I list as very low difficulty is Duelist. And there's a couple new builds. People are playing a lot of Divine, which is great to see. And this build really revolves around Yasuo 3 and Jax 3. You put your damage items on Yasuo, put your tank items on Jax, level up, go hit the legendaries such as Yone and Lee Sin, and then pretty much have a blast from there. After that, you add in Lux and Aurelia for 4 Divine. You could go up to 6 Divine, you could go up to 6 Duelists, you could go up to 8 Duelists. Lots of different options, but pretty much it's really easy to do because the first part of the game is just looking for Yasuo and Jax, and that's pretty easy to do. Items for Yasuo, it's going to be stuff like Infinity Edge, stuff like Quicksilver Sash, so he doesn't get crowd controlled, and then pretty much just any damage item after that works really good on Yasuo. For Jax, Dragon Claw is really good because Jax's ability makes him dodge a lot of auto attacks, so that makes him very durable against physical damage. So after that, you want to put in a Dragon Claw on him to make him durable against magic damage. Other items you could put on him are typical tank items such as Sunfire Cape. You could put a Titan's Resolve on him as well. Pretty much any tank item is going to work on him. You could even put damage items on Jax. That's what the beautiful thing about him is. Since he has the Divine buff, he gets bonus true damage on his damage. So if you build a lot of damage on him, he's going to be really good with the Divine trait as well. On Lee Sin, he's part of your late game. Blue buff RFC is really good on him. Yone can pretty much use any item. What I like a lot on Yone is Guardian Angel and maybe like Hand of Justice. Hand of Justice I feel is really good on him. Hand of Justice is also good on Jax and Yasuo too. It's like you could pretty much build anything on them. But these are pretty much the 4 characters you itemize in this composition. Again, you don't level up all stage 2. You slow roll for Yasuo. After you hit him, you level up, go to level 5, maybe level 6, then slow roll for Jax, depending on how many you have so far. And they do a lot of work. The only problem with this comp, and most of these comps that we're going to go over, which are reroll comps, is that you need good starts for them. So if you don't get an early chosen Yasuo, for example, it's going to be a little tough to play. Keep in mind, I don't list out a chosen here, but you really want chosen Duelist, preferably the Yasuo, and then you can maybe go to 6 Duelists, or drop a unit in case you don't get Lee Sin and stay at 4 Duelists. Next up, we have the Wukong carry. Wukong, very strong and easy to play. You want to get Rapid Fire Cannon on him. Infinity Edge works really well because his ability scales off of attack damage. And another item I like, which isn't listed here, is Rage Blade. I see Wukong get a lot of damage off with that item, and I've seen people win games with it, even without Rapid Fire Cannon. They just put a Rage Blade, Hand of Justice on him instead. But yeah, pretty much any combination of damage items work. Like Hand of Justice is good too, like we just mentioned. You could put a defensive item on him so he doesn't get crowd controlled. But he gets a lot of defense from the Vanguard Mystic buff, which is why this comp is so strong, because your main damage dealer is pretty much immune to all damage. But the playstyle is very similar to how to play the Duelist build. You just slow roll for Wukong, but he's the only 3-star unit you need. So after you hit Wukong, you could go ahead and level up, play a bunch of other units such as the 4 Mystic 4 Vanguard synergy, and then after that you could go ahead and play some legendaries. The legendaries are pretty important to try to win late game just because you don't really need items for anyone else, so you need someone else to itemize, and getting like a Kayn with like a blue buff would be pretty good. Getting like a Yone with like a bunch of items is good as well. And Yone can use any combination of items. He could use either all offensive or all defensive or a mix. It's all really good. But you want to go for bows for Wukong because, again, he really likes Rapid Fire Cannon. He really likes Rage Blade. Those are 2 very good items on him. But yeah, super fun comp to play. It's awesome seeing Wukong smack people. And it's just really cool to see. So if you want a really easy comp, I really suggest this one. You only need to start the game with a bunch of Wukongs early, and maybe a Chosen Wukong would help as well. Again, I don't list the Chosen that you need here. So you could go ahead and play maybe 6 Vanguard, maybe 6 Mystic, maybe one of these other synergies as a Chosen. It all works. Getting Chosen Wukong does help a lot though because he gets extra stats from that. Next up we have Sharpshooter. Sharpshooter we're not going to go over. It's like a pretty difficult comp, so we're not doing that this week. If you guys want to see me explain all these other comps, I'll do it on the first week of every patch, so the next time that would happen would be next Friday. But Warlords. Okay, Warlords. If you get a Warlord start in Stage 2, this comp is the easiest thing to play. And I know I've been saying that with a lot of comps, you need certain starts to go for them. And you could make the argument that, hey, they're not that easy then if I need specific starts. But I'm giving you guys so many options that pretty much you're going to get one of these starts every game for one of these reroll comps. And it just gets really easy after that. So Warlords, if you get like Nidalee, Garen, and one other Warlord during the neutral camps during Stage 1, they actually get Warlord stacks for winning those rounds, making them very powerful once you hit Stage 2 during the fights against other opponents. This is because they already get Warlord stacks, so they're going to be having super strong stats and pretty much just steamroll a lot of weaker compositions. Once you get that start, you should have a lot of health, in which case it gives you enough gold and health in order to roll for Katarina 3-star. Katarina 3-star is super important. If you can't hit Katarina 3-star, you really want Azir 2 to be on carry duty after that. You may notice that I only have like 6 units listed out here. I have 5 Warlords plus a Talon. So what that means is that you could pretty much add any unit to this team, just fill out certain synergies that you want or play random legendaries, it all works. You could go to 9 Warlord, you could go to 3 Warlord. There are a lot of different options, but it's not punishing if you go for different options compared to other builds. And that's just because this comp really just revolves around the power of Katarina or Azir, depending on who you hit. Preferably you have both, which would be really nice. And obviously Katarina 3 is preferred, but sometimes you roll a bunch of gold, you don't hit her, and you have to do something else in order to reach the late game. Then you have to try to look for some legendary carries instead. But I really love this comp personally, just because I'm a huge fan of Azir. I think he's one of the most slept on legendaries, just because he provides such good crowd control, and just because he doesn't do a lot of damage doesn't mean he's bad. So going on to the next build, we're not doing Cultist. This is actually a pretty difficult build, and it's not really like a late game comp. It's kind of like a transition build. Spirit, it's a little difficult to play this because the positioning's kind of tricky, so I don't recommend that if you want like a really free comp. But Mage Reroll is something we could do next. It works a lot like the Yasuo build, where you go for a 3-star 1-cost unit, and then you go for a 3-star 2-cost unit. So the ones in this build are Twisted Fate and Annie. But if you don't hit Twisted Fate, there are a bunch of different options, unlike the Duelist build. If you don't hit Twisted Fate, you could use Veigar carry, you could use Ahri carry, but you always need Annie carry. Annie's the most important unit here because she just completely tanks everything. And whenever you run a solo tank, you always want a Quicksilver Sash, because if Annie ever gets Zephyred, you're losing like 20 health. So you really need the Quicksilver Sash on her. And then after that, you just put on any generic tank items. I like Dragonclaw and Bramble Vest. You could use Sunfire Cape. There are a bunch of different options. But overall, she's probably the strongest unit. And then you just get one person to do damage: Twisted Fate, Ahri, or Veigar. And while you're rolling for Twisted Fate, you could also pick up Nami, 3-star Nami. She's in a pretty decent spot right now too. In terms of chosen units, it's okay to get like Fortune Annie, even though it doesn't give any synergies, because just getting Annie to 3-star is super important, that you really just need to get her to 3-star even if the synergies get messed up. But preferably you get some sort of mage synergy for your chosen. Next up we have Moonlight Aphelios. This is in a terrible spot right now. I don't recommend playing it at all. Diana's pretty easy to do though. Diana, she works with a lot of different item combinations, so I have the tank items listed out here, which is Gunblade, Bramble Vest, and Dragonclaw. You just want to slow roll for Moonlights and hopefully have a Moonlight chosen and then go up to 6 Assassin. So another build that works really well with Diana is going like Infinity Edge, Hand of Justice, and making her like a full damage person. So what this build actually does, the damage build, is that it allows her to auto attack people to death and use her spell to kill people. Whereas the tank build, she really can only kill people with her spell. So if she gets stun locked, it could be a little weak for her. So there are a bunch of different options in terms of her itemization. There's just like no one set way you could play. It depends on the matchups a lot, which one's better, tank or damage. But both work really, really well as long as you have 6 assassin and easily hit the Moonlights. But yeah, this comp is super easy to play just because Diana can use a lot of different items. It's a slow roll comp, so a lot of the beginning of the game, the decisions are being made for you already. So I highly recommend this comp. It's also really fun to watch Diana 4-star just pretty much like 1v5 everything at the end of the rounds. So that's pretty cool to see too. Next up, we have ninjas. Don't play ninjas. I've been seeing them played a little more, but they're still not that strong. I'm not quite convinced yet that they are like one of the mainstream comps yet, and I think they are getting buffed the next patch, so maybe we'll see them then. Other easy comps, Moonlight Lissandra is pretty easy. I listed this in the C tier because no one really plays this anymore, but you pretty much just go for Lissandra 3-star, put a bunch of ability power items and a mana item on her, and she does pretty decently, not that well, because no one's playing her, but maybe someone figures out a different build to make her work. Right now we are playing her with Vanguard, so maybe something else works even better for her. But yeah, that's pretty much it for all the free comps for easy wins. And if you want to see the rest of the tier list, maybe you're looking to play some of the more difficult builds, you could go ahead and do that still. I have the same write-ups there, but I just wanted to focus on a theme for this week's meta snapshot. But yeah, just head on over to bunnymuffins.lol/meta to see this whole thing. And I have 2 videos coming out this weekend, one on itemization math and another on leveling. So definitely look out for those. If you guys are new and you want to see those right away, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for the channel. And if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit the like as well, as that helps me out a ton. Go ahead and join our Discord at discord.gg/bunnymuffins. And yeah, any other link you can imagine can be found in the description below. So definitely go ahead and check that out. But yeah, good luck on this patch, guys. Let me know what your like biggest win streak was with some of these comps, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe, and of course smash that like button. Each like is an LP I gain before the next video.